My preaching professor back in the old days was Edmund Clowney. Yeah.
What?
Edmund Clowney. So
in Escondido?
In Escondido.
I didn't know he was in Escondido. I thought just Philadelphia.
He was in Philadelphia, but he came out to Escondido to help start Westminster.
No way.
Like 1981, I think it was.
Really?
So he was my preaching professor for like my first year.
Yeah.
And, he's a well-known like person in the Reformed world and, broader evangelical world in terms of like preaching Jesus from all the Bible, right?
Yes. As a broad evangelical.
Yeah. And
I'm getting broader every day.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So as a broad evangelical.
Yes.
So, first sermon was in class.
Yeah.
I think it was like on Mark's Gospel, the prologue.
Okay.
And he was such a great professor. But basically the way he did it was like, in front of the whole class, he would just tear you to shreds. That was a fine sermon. It had nothing to do with the text, But then he would pull you aside in like his office the next day, and then he was like the most loving, gentle, like, hey, you got a lot of gifts. I can tell you, like, you were converted in a Pentecostal church, like you got a lot of fire, like, but you gotta, dial it back a tad bit, and here's some good ways to help you communicate, So, yeah, that would have been my first sermon, and I did that same sermon like at a church when I was asked finally, like in our denomination, to go out and preach. Looking back, you're like, yeah, it was probably absolute garbage. I would never want to preach that one again.
Okay.
If I can even find the notes.
Yeah.
So, but been a while though.
Amazing, man. Edmund Clowney, that is great. I've been so benefited. I listened to his whole, the lecture series that I'm sure everyone listens to. Him and Tim Keller together.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Preaching Christ in a Postmodern World?
I believe so.
Is that it?
Yep.
This was like, there's an app called iTunes U.
Yeah.
This is like, long time ago. I just remember listening to like every single one of them over, like, certain ones over and over.
Yeah.
I remember like going on walks and listening to it and be like, if this is true, this changes everything.